Like, think about it. If you were going through a difficult moment, you can give yourself permission to slow down, naturally slow down, assess because you can't see what's ahead of you. You know, when you're going through a snowstorm or like a torrential rainfall, and it's like you can't see what's in front of you. If it's snowing, it's just completely foggy. It's just like you just cannot see what's in front of you. But naturally, we know we have a few options, right? The few options we have is we slow down, right? We go below the speed limit. If you're walking, you just take your time, one step at a time. The other option is we just stop and kind of wait for either the snow to kind of let up a little bit, or we either wait for the rain to kind of, slow down a bit as well. Why don't we apply that to our life? Like, think about it. If you were going through a difficult moment, you can give yourself permission to slow down, naturally slow down, assess because you can't see what's ahead of you. You're unaware, it's foggy, it's raining, it's cloudy, it's not as clear. You're allowed to slow down, take a moment, assess, and just take one step at a time. The speed limit may be 60 or 40, and you're like, I'm just going to do 30 and 35. I'm just going to take my time throughout this journey, throughout this process. Believe it or not, that's exactly how you could approach life. If you're going through a period or a chapter or a season where life is just lifing and there's nothing you could do about it, and you're in torrential downpour, and you're dealing with a huge snowfall, and you're getting hit with hail from like your left and your right side, and there's not much you can do. It's okay to take a moment and pause. It's okay to take a moment and assess where you're going to put the next step. It's okay to take a moment and just reevaluate, like, where can I go? Because we're so wrapped up in planning for the future that we're not living for today. So many of us are trying to just constantly plan for the future. And I think there's a teeter totter to that, right? You could prepare for the future, and I think that's totally fine. Put a little bit aside as much as you can. But nobody knows what's gonna be our next step, and nobody knows what tomorrow's gonna bring. And I know that could be scary to some of us. Like, how do I know? How do I move forward? The truth is, you just take sometimes one day at a time. In my entrepreneurial experience thus far, as much as I sit down and make a strategy, and I'm sure many entrepreneurs that are listening to this or watching this could agree, we make all these strategies. We'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and we got this just burst of ideas. And then we put it to work, and sometimes it just doesn't work. It doesn't kind of work out the best way we can. Or if you're a basketball coach or football coach, or you are an instructor, or you just work a 9 to 5 and you create this plan for yourself of how everything is going to be. And then here comes life just knocking you on your ass, changing everything, every course. Now you're like, oh crap, because we were so embedded in that entire strategy. Yeah, you could plan the best case scenario, of course. You could plan the worst case scenario. But how about we just take that technique of the snowstorm? How about we take that technique of the rainstorm, torrential rainfall, and just take one step at a time? Just one step. You don't gotta always see what's in front of you. Sometimes you just gotta be and deal with what's in front of you, like right in front of you. It's got to be in that present moment and enjoy that present moment, and give yourself grace when you're going through those periods of difficulty. Those difficult moments, give yourself permission to accept it and to embrace it. Because at the end of the day, I don't know about you, but we're all trying to do the best that we can. And some of us are winging it. If not, majority of us are are winging it. So I want you to take that with you today. How can I apply that same technique of when I'm dealing with a torrential downpour, whether you're on foot or driving a car? And how can I take that exact same technique of when I'm dealing with a snowstorm and I just automatically, naturally know, okay, slow down, take your time. I'm just going to take one block at a time. I'm going to take one step at a time. And the whole point is to arrive back home, safely. And in this case, the whole point is to arrive on the other side of that difficult period. And you can look back and say, I did that. And then the next time it happens, because again, life will be lifing, people will still be peopling. You have a better idea of how to step forward. You have a better idea of using the same technique of just giving yourself grace and taking one step at a time.